Thousands of years ago, in the land of Mesopotamia, people told a terrifying story. A story about a flood meant to destroy all of humanity. But one man received a secret warning in the middle of the night. His name was Atrahasis, and his decision would decide whether humans survived or disappeared forever. But this story does not begin with rain. It begins with angry gods. In the ancient imagination of Mesopotamia, the world was ruled by powerful gods. These gods controlled the sky, the rivers, the wind, and the land. Among them were three great leaders: Anu, the god of the heavens; Enlil, the powerful ruler of the earth and the air; and Ea, the wise god of water and knowledge. In those early days, humans did not yet exist. The work of the world was done by lesser gods. These gods dug rivers. They carved canals into the land. They carried heavy loads of earth and stone, day after day, year after year. Imagine digging enormous rivers with your hands. Imagine building canals under the burning sun. Eventually, the lesser gods became exhausted. And one night, they decided they had had enough. Before dawn, the tired gods gathered together. Their tools fell to the ground. Their anger grew stronger. They marched toward the palace of Enlil, the ruler of the earth. Their message was clear. They would not work anymore. The great gods listened carefully, and after a long discussion, they made a decision. A new creature would be created, a creature strong enough to work, a creature intelligent enough to build, a creature able to care for the land. That creature would be human beings. The gods mixed clay from the earth with divine elements. From this mixture, they shaped the first humans. Soon, humans began working across the land. They dug canals, they planted crops, they built houses and cities. Villages slowly became towns. Towns became busy cities. For a time, everything seemed perfect. The gods rested, humans worked, the world moved forward. But success created a new problem, because humans multiplied quickly. And with many humans living close together, something else appeared: noise. Imagine thousands of people living side by side, farmers shouting across fields, merchants calling out in crowded markets, children laughing and playing in the streets, animals moving through the city roads. Day and night, the sounds of humanity filled the land. To humans, this was simply life. But to the gods, it became unbearable, especially for one god, Enlil. The ruler of the earth could not sleep. Night after night, the noise reached his palace. His patience slowly disappeared. Finally, Enlil made a frightening decision. If humans would not become quiet, they would have to disappear. At first, Enlil tried smaller punishments. He sent drought. The rains stopped. Crops failed. Food became scarce. But the wise god Ea secretly helped humanity survive. He whispered advice to humans. They adapted. They endured. When drought failed, Enlil sent disease. Once again, Ea helped humans survive. People prayed. They learned how to endure the disaster. Each time humanity survived, Enlil became more frustrated, until finally he chose a solution that would end everything. A catastrophe no one could escape. A great flood. But Ea did not agree with destroying humanity. He believed humans deserved another chance. However, the gods had sworn an oath. They were not allowed to warn humans. So Ea found a clever solution. One night, when the world was quiet, he spoke near the house of a man named Atrahasis. But Ea did not speak directly to the man. Instead, he spoke to a wall of reeds. His voice passed through the wall, and Atrahasis heard the message. Atrahasis, listen carefully. Destroy your house. Build a great boat. Make it strong. Seal it with tar so water cannot enter. Bring your family. Bring animals. Bring food, because a great flood is coming. Imagine hearing that message in the middle of the night. A flood meant to destroy the world. Would you believe it? Atrahasis did, and he began building immediately. Atrahasis worked quickly. Neighbors watched with confusion. Why was he building such a massive boat far from the water? Why did he seal it so carefully? Why was he filling it with animals and supplies? Atrahasis could not reveal the secret, so he simply continued working. The boat grew larger every day, layer after layer of wood and tar. Inside the vessel were animals of many kinds, seeds, food, and Atrahasis's family, everything needed for survival. Then one day, the sky changed. Dark clouds filled the horizon. Winds began to roar. Thunder shook the sky. Rain started to fall. At first, it seemed like an ordinary storm, but the rain did not stop. The rivers overflowed. Water rushed across the land. Cities disappeared beneath the rising flood. Fields vanished. Homes were swallowed by water. The ancient tablets describe chaos everywhere. Even the gods became frightened by the destruction they had unleashed. For days, the storm continued. Water covered everything, except one boat, the boat of Atrahasis. Eventually, the winds grew quiet. The rain slowed. The sky began to clear. Slowly, the water started to fall. Atrahasis waited patiently inside the boat. Finally, the vessel came to rest. When Atrahasis stepped outside, the world had changed. The flood had wiped away nearly everything, but humanity was not gone. Atrahasis had survived, and through him, life would begin again. When the gods discovered that a human had survived, they were surprised, but they also noticed something strange. Without humans, there were no offerings, no prayers, no temples filled with people. The world had become quiet in a different way, an empty way. The gods realized that humans were not only workers, they were part of the balance of the world. So the gods made a new decision. Human life would continue, but there would be limits. Some people would live shorter lives. Some families would have fewer children. In this way, the gods believed the world could remain in balance, and humanity continued. This story was written more than 3,000 years ago, long before modern books, long before modern cities. Yet it asks questions people still think about today. Why do disasters happen? Why do some survive when everything seems lost? And how do stories travel across thousands of years? The ancient flood story of Atrahasis reminds us that even the earliest civilizations were trying to understand the mysteries of life. Sometimes those mysteries were written into clay, and thousands of years later, we are still reading them. But the flood story is only one chapter of the ancient Mesopotamian world. There were also stories about powerful kings, dangerous journeys, and the search for life's greatest secrets. If you would like to discover more of these ancient mysteries, Click the next video on your screen. I will see you there.